collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX Boonboom controller from Bakuage Sentai Boonboomger. This is the main weapon slash henshin device for Boon Violet, featured very prominently here on the right side of the box. Of course, we have a big picture of the controller here in its controller slash handle mode. It also has a bow gun mode, which we can see pictured down here. On the top of the box, again, just a picture of the controller and a nice lineup of the team here. Down here on the bottom, not really much going on, just your usual warnings and whatnot. Over here, we get Boonboom Maha Robo, which is the 6th mecha, which we will take a look at most likely tomorrow, as I got that in today as well. And then taking a look over here, just kind of shows the controller mode being used as a handle. Taking a look here on the back, again, just showing the two modes, and it gives you a code list breakdown because since this is a controller, there's actually different configurations you can do to get different sounds out of it, which I thought was a really cool touch. The one thing I will say is, when I'm looking at this code list, to me that's up and that's down. That is not the case. The way this is done, it looks more like Trivial Pursuit pie pieces than an actual D-pad, so you're going to have to kind of invert your brain because up is actually down and vice versa. So it's not like a directional pad. It's kind of a circle where the arrows point in. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. At least for me it did. But that's the only thing. Otherwise, I think it's pretty cool. We got a lot of stuff going on here. Does take 3 AAA batteries, which I was not used to because I think everything up until this point has had watch batteries included. Actually, the Boonboom handle might have taken AAAs. I'm not 100% sure about that, but this one's going to take 3 AAA batteries for you. And then if you need the manual, that is the little QR code here on the side. So pretty cool packaging. I really love this on the front here. I think this looks great. Boon Violet's a really cool 6th member of the team. I love his suit and the color scheme and everything going on there. So very excited for this one. I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. Here is the Boonboom controller out of the packaging in its controller slash handle steering wheel mode, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, it looks like a steering wheel like this, but it has all the buttons and everything for a controller. Has a nice LED screen here, lights up different colors, which is really fun. Taking a look on the back here, this is the little button that you depress to slide this panel off, and that's where your 3 AAA batteries go. We have an on and off switch, speakers over here, which I have to say is kind of unfortunate placement because most of the time when I was holding this, my natural inclination was to cover it up with my fingers, so I will have to work to not do that. But here are the 2 buttons here on the back that you hold down, and then this slides like this. Now we have the bow gun mode, and then you have this piece that you draw back. This is actually going to be used a lot in the controller mode as well, to kind of set off the combinations and everything after you enter them. I have to admit, the bow gun mode is a little lacking. I think it's a little weird. I almost feel like it's more of a crossbow, and I almost kind of wish there was a handle down here that I could hold on to and use it as a crossbow like that. I think that might have been a little bit more successful. There is a little piece here, and what this is for is it can actually connect to the weapon of Boonboom Maha Robo, and it can kind of become like a stand for it, and then you can stand the robot behind it, and we'll take a look at that in my next video for Boonboom Maha Robo. But I thought that was kind of an interesting touch, that you can use its weapon as like a little stand to make like a giant weapon for Boonboom Maha Robo, which is kind of neat. I guess we'll go ahead and turn this on. So there you go, it says its name. If we're using it in the bow gun mode, I'll show this off quick and then we'll get into like the other combinations and everything. But you can just kind of draw this back to get kind of like a generic firing slash like screeching tire sound. You can also hold this back. So it says Boon shoot. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that's a ridiculous amount of time to have to hold that back for. I hope the villains stay in one place while you charge that shot. But yeah, so that's kind of it for the bow gun mode. Most of the other stuff we're going to check out in the controller mode. Some of the things will kind of apply to both, and you'll see what I mean as we go. But yeah, so if you just kind of hit these buttons, All right, so I stumbled on a combination there, so disregard that for now. But basically, if we just hit, I'll hit one button 3 times. Now that did the transformation jingle there, even though that's not the code for it, so... So apparently you can just hit any 3 buttons or any button 3 times or any combination of anything 3 times. That's not one of the actual like preset combinations, and it'll still do the transformation jingle. The one that is supposed to do the transformation jingle is red, blue, green. So as you heard there, the sound effects are not really any different. So while there is an official combo for the Henshin, it doesn't really need to. Pretty much anything that's not one of the other combinations will do it. And then once you hit the combo, then you can hit any button to do the boon, 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 boon. Then you pull that down, you transform. I will say sometimes it's a little weird pulling this down because it does have these little like notches, and you can see that it's kind of cut out down there. But it kind of can get caught on that sometimes. So it works fine, but sometimes it's a little awkward. But you saw the LED flashing different colors as well. So it is weird that like you can do a lot of different things to transform, but I guess they wanted that to be the default since it's the Henshin device. Yeah, I don't know. So that's just where we're at with that. But let's roll through some of the other combinations here. So we also have red, blue, down. So, all right, so we have Bakuage Fire there. The next one we have is Red Down Up. So that puts it in Gatling mode. Then we have Red Up Blue. So this is sniper mode. Nothing really extra frills about that, but that's apparently sniper mode. Next we have down, up, red. So that calls Boonboom Maha in vehicle mode, so it summons the mecha there. Next we have So that one kind of unlocks like a sound mode, and then you can press all the different buttons for different sounds. To get out of it, you just pull the trigger piece down again. So that's kind of neat. Gives you just a bunch of different phrases and sounds, which I think is kind of cool. Next we have Up Green Red. So that is signaling Boonboom Maha to transform into Boonboom Maha Robo. So that's pretty cool. And then last up here we have left, green, right. So it says push a button. So that does Boonboom Finish, which is kind of a finishing attack. So I did that in the controller mode. If you want, you can switch to the bow gun mode and do it again. So like you could do it in the bowgun mode, you could do it in the controller mode. There's really nothing here to let it know which mode it's in. It's just unlocking these. There's no button inside or anything that, you know, makes a new sound or changes anything. There's nothing in here to really let it know which configuration these are in. But yeah, that's kind of it for all the different like codes that it specifies in the directions. So there's a decent amount of sounds on this. Honestly, I think that's kind of cool. You can call the mecha. You can call the mecha to transform. You know, you have a couple of attack sounds in there. The generic attack sound, holding this down, gives you a bunch of attack sounds. So, you know, there's pretty much packed into this, which I think is kind of cool. You know, there's not a ton going on in terms of like, will this be a long-lasting fun toy? It doesn't really have any connectivity to anything else like the Boonboom Changer does. So there's, I mean, aside from, you know, sitting it on top of the weapon of Boonboom Maha Robo, it's not really reading any cars. It's not connecting to the mecha, like sliding on the back or anything like that. It's not triggering any new sounds. So even when you go ahead and pop this in here, you can see that it's not really going to connect anything or hit a hidden button or anything like that. So, you know, the sounds that are in it are what you get. There's not really much else to do with it. And I feel like it's probably something that you will get bored of, you know, after a while. Here, I'll bring the box back in here. I think it's neat. I do like it. I think the controller aspect of it is kind of cool. I like that it has the different button configurations and things like that. But again, I think this is something that probably will get a little boring after a while because it doesn't have anything to make you come back to it. With the Boonboom Changer and the Boonboom Booster, when you get a new car, you can, you know, read it in there and see what new sounds you're going to get. Or it has connectivity with the Robo and you can try that out. This doesn't really have anything like that. I mean, technically, I guess it has connectivity to the Robo, but sitting it on top of its weapon, I wouldn't really say it's connectivity because it's not doing anything. It's not triggering a new sound. It's not unlocking anything. It's just sitting there. So because this doesn't really have any connectivity to anything else, I think that does kind of limit its playability in terms of long-term stuff. But what's in here is kind of neat, and I do like the overall design. I think the controller aspect of it is cool, you know, putting in the different codes for the different commands and things like that's kind of cool. The LED's nice. I like the look of it as a controller and as a handle. I think the lamest mode and where I think it suffers the most is the bow gun, because it's just not really doing anything. It barely looks that different, and I just think it's too small. I mean, if you think about how you would normally hold a bow, you would grasp it probably more somewhere up like this, which doesn't make sense. So you have to kind of hold it down here, which makes it very top heavy, and that's just kind of awkward. Like I said, I think if they would put a handle down here and made it more like a crossbow, considering they're calling it a bow gun, I feel like it's more of a crossbow than a longbow. So they should have just kind of extended this, or maybe given you a piece that you could plug in or take off or something like that to kind of hold it more like this, and I just think that would be a little bit more natural. I mean, technically I can kind of hold it like this, but I feel like anytime I try to do something with it, it's just going to fall. So yeah, I just think the bow is probably the lamest of the two modes, and definitely where I think it suffers. It feels kind of crammed in just to be able to do something else, and kind of using this, because every time I do that, as you can kind of see, these move just enough when this goes down that like it hits or like wants to come in when I'm trying to, and then it, I don't know, it just makes it a little awkward. So I almost kind of feel like I wish they had just gotten rid of the bow aspect altogether, done the controller, and then maybe just had a button down here or something instead of pulling this down. I don't know, just, just thinking about it. But overall, I think it's fun. I definitely think because it doesn't really have any connectivity to anything else, that makes it something that you're not going to be going back to over and over again during the course of the show. And I think because of that, it will get a little boring from time to time. After the initial fun is worn off, probably won't be going back to it too much. So at the end of the day, is this a must-have? I'm going to leave that up to you. I think it's fun. I like the, the different button configurations. I like the playability that it does have, but I just don't think it has something that's going to keep you coming back. So maybe wait till the end of the show, pick it up on sale, something like that. If you're a completionist, it doesn't have any cars with it or anything like that, so there's no reason there to, have to pick it up. They didn't pack any cars in with it or anything like that. Yeah, so in my opinion, it's okay. I just don't think it has a lot of long-lasting appeal. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.